leaked screenshots from a Microsoft whistleblower reveals efforts by one of those worker Intifada organizers to disrupt Microsoft business and send spam propaganda email to thousands of internal employees. This was crazy. All right, I posted this article up yesterday. I got to read some of this to you now. Thank you, by the way, to the whistleblowers that are regularly contacting the Lunduke Journal from Microsoft and IBM and Red Hat and Adobe and all the other companies. And it's amazing the amount of crazy stuff going on in some of these companies, stuff that just never gets reported otherwise. So this last week, is, as many of you will recall, members of the Microsoft worker Intifada claimed that some of their members were fired by Microsoft in an attempt to silence the speech of pro-Palestinian employees, right? They were very upset. They're like, oh no, Microsoft doesn't want to let Palestinians talk. Oh, that's why they're firing us, right? Well, thanks to an internal Microsoft whistleblower, we have gained additional insights into the real reasons at least one of these Intifada organizers was actually fired. And it includes mass emailing thousands of Microsoft employees with anti-Microsoft messages and building internal corporate websites dedicated to, I'm not making this up, it's crazy, disrupting company business over the course of months. And of course, we got all the screenshots because Microsoft whistleblowers are awesome. Okay, let's talk about this Intifada for a second here. So the Microsoft's Workers Intifada held a press conference on August 28th, this last week, at the office of CAIR, C-A-I-R. This was a response to Microsoft's media briefing, which was held 2 days earlier. If you want to, I have links, to all of this stuff in the article. So I'm going to link to the article wherever you're getting this show so you can follow all the links, watch all these videos, look at my analysis and pictures from all of it. It's all there. All right. So the topic of both of those press events from Microsoft and the Worker Intifada was the Intifada actions of the previous week, which included vandalism, breaking and entering, and public demonstrations against Jewish people. Now, I should make this very clear. The Intifada is in part out there trying to make some sort of political protest, right, about country borders between Israel and Gaza and various things like that. However, a very, very significant part of their protest is specifically, in their words, against Jewish people. In fact, they hold training sessions where they train people to chant in Arabic, "Go away, Jews," and "Jews get out," specifically referring to Jewish employees of Microsoft. So this is not just a political thing. This is a very strange, very aggressive and bigoted group that's going on here, right? It's not just political discussions, and it's not just discussions of Israel or Palestine or any of those sorts of things. It's very laser focused on being anti-specifically Jews, not Israelis, not Zionists, not anything else, Jews specifically, right? So that's what this Worker Intifada, this very left-wing organization, is pushing. Now, a key topic was the firing of 4 employees related to the Intifada, organizers of this Intifada, Microsoft employees. One of those fired employees is Nisreen Jaradat. Jaradat? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. In fact, she's seen here speaking at the press conference at CAIR, the CAIR Washington office on August 28th, with a picture that reads "No Azure for Apartheid," with a picture of the Palestinian flag and a watermelon drawn on it. And the whole printed out poster is taped with Scotch tape to a wall, and it's kind of crooked. Nice job. Now, I want to say thanks right off the bat to the leaks Thanks to those leaked Microsoft materials, we can get a glimpse into the anti-Microsoft activity of Nisreen Jaradat going back several months. So this is not, she didn't get fired for specifically these protests. In fact, she has this long history of trying to kind of sabotage Microsoft internally. All right. So first, Nisreen created an internal website on the Microsoft corporate intranet entitled Pledge for Palestine. You can see a screenshot of it here. Join over 200 Microsoft workers pledging to divest our labor from the economy of occupation and genocide. Refusing illegal and non-compliant labor is protected at Microsoft. Azure kills kids. We will not support genocide. Now, on that website, Nisreen encourages employees to take a pledge declaring that employees will not support genocide, specifically demanding that Microsoft no longer interact with Israel in any way. No employees, no customers, no nothing, right? And it should be noted that as of just a few days ago, the last I heard, this website was actually still up and running inside of Microsoft. Even after Nisreen was fired, the website still was operational. Nisreen's website also included a list of ways where employees could sabotage internal corporate work. Specifically, this is a very real thing, Nisreen encouraged employees to refuse to work on support tickets that involve Israel or sabotage any tickets worked on by others, refuse work with other employees on tasks which may involve Israel or any Israeli Microsoft employees or customers. Right? So she's literally suggesting, she has page after page of this, of refuse to own a collaboration task belonging to support case originating from a customer enabling genocide. And then it gets defined as basically being anyone in Israel, around Israel, etc. Refuse to work on any ticket that might benefit Israel. If any ticket is coming from Israel or with a customer in Israel, that you should close the ticket, you should kind of hide the ticket, put a ticket back in a queue, etc., etc. So basically sabotage corporate infrastructure, right? In July, so, July, not exactly the last week or two, Nisreen sent an internal Microsoft Teams message to thousands of employees encouraging them to sign that anti-Israel and Microsoft pledge. Today, Palestinians have called for an international day of action to demand a stop to the deliberate starvation of Gaza by the Israeli occupation forces. 2 million Palestinians are facing catastrophic levels of starvation under bombardment and siege, which we enable with our labor and our services, etc., etc., etc. You can take the pledge, and then here's a link to it. And then someone went in, and a community manager says, closed that thread on Microsoft Teams. We are now closing this thread for comments. Remember to follow the Microsoft 365 usage guidelines when engaging in dialogue on Viva Engage. That's internal Microsoft stuff. But this wasn't the first time that Nisreen spammed Microsoft employees with pro-Palestinian propaganda. Back in May of this year, Nisreen sent an email to over 8,000 Microsoft employees entitled, "You Can't Get Rid of Us." This was May 23rd of this year. Yesterday, Microsoft chose to utterly and completely discriminate against an entire nation, an entire people, and an entire community by blocking all employees. As a Palestinian worker, I am fed up with the way our people have been treated in this company. I am sending this email as a message to Microsoft leaders. Despite claiming to have heard concerns from the employees and the public regarding Microsoft technologies, but it just kind of goes on and on like this, right? And then it accuses Microsoft. Let's see. Microsoft has shown their true face, brutalizing, detaining, firing, pepper spraying, threatening, and insulting workers and former workers. It just is. It gets really intense, right? So within that email, and this is, I think, really important when you're talking about why someone gets fired, she declared that her employers, her bosses, have, quote, shown their true face, brutalizing, detaining, firing, pepper spraying, threatening, insulting, etc., etc., etc. And surprise, surprise, she got fired for it. Now, here's the thing. Whatever you think of Microsoft, whatever I think of Microsoft business practices, protesting your bosses and accusing them of genocide while encouraging thousands of other employees, your coworkers, in spam emails that nobody wanted to sabotage corporate work, well, come on. I mean, it doesn't matter what you think of Microsoft. I can't imagine any company not firing someone who takes those actions internally. If I go to my boss and say, "You're a genocidal madman," and then I go email the entire, like, thousands of people of the company and with step-by-step instructions on how we can sabotage the business for billions of dollars, I'm not expecting that my card key is going to work the next day. Like, it's just that's clearly a choice someone makes, right? In fact, I would suggest that it is absolutely crazy that Microsoft put up with the actions of this Intifada organizer for so many months. Here, I'll put her face back up because she made a press release. She wants her face to be known out there. There she is. There's Nizreen Jaradat on August 28th at the CAIR work office there in Washington State. I mean, she wanted to get fired, right? I mean, how could you not? Come on. There's no one on earth who thought, why would I get fired? All I did was call my boss a genocidal madman and a brutalizer with no morals, and then I encouraged the entire company to try and destroy the company. That's all I did. Why would I get fired? He must be trying to discriminate against another nation. That's what he's doing. Come on. What a retard. I'm sorry, but that's retarded. Like, either she is being extraordinarily dishonest, which is what I think is the case, or she's retarded. Those are the two options here. It can't be anything else. Oh my heavens. Anyway, crazy. The story of the Microsoft Intifada is absolutely nuts. Now, Intifada organizers are still claiming that they're going to escalate. You know, they've already, ransacked a farmer's market and vandalized property and spread fake dead bodies and fake blood all over and chanted over bullhorns, "Jews get out" and "Go away, Jews," and broken into the corporate executive offices at Microsoft and trashed someone's office, and they've already gone crazy. And they got boats, little kayaks to go to the personal house of Microsoft executives and scream about how they're murderers and everything like that. So I mean, they're one step away from doing something real crazy violent, because they've already gotten violent, but they're like one step from that, and they're declaring that they're going to escalate. And I don't know, they're just stupid enough to maybe do it. We'll find out. Hopefully not, because I don't want to see anyone innocent, especially out there, getting hurt, because these people are just lunatics. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for making it possible to do this sort of coverage, because it's not getting covered. What's happening within so many tech companies just isn't getting covered by most of the tech press. They're ignoring all the stories, big and small, unless those stories are exactly in line with their political views. If it makes their political side look bad, they don't cover it, which means they're not covering a significant portion of the news, like this stuff. It's important to know what's happening at the companies. It's important to know how these big tech firms are responding to it. And it's important to know what it's like, because realistically, if you're inside Microsoft right now, there's this crazy group going around who's literally preaching death to Jews. They're holding up signs glorifying the disembowelment of Jews while chanting in Arabic, "Get out, Jews," and "Go away, Jews." Okay, if you're an employee at Microsoft and you're Jewish, or if you're a Christian and you support Jews, like you like Jews, you're not exactly feeling safe right now. So what is happening within those companies is important to be reporting, but all the other tech news outlets isn't going to report them because they're going to stick to their hardcore left-wing extremist anti-Jewish stance. That's just what's happening right now. It doesn't really matter if you like it or I like it. It doesn't matter. That's just what's happening. But thank you to Lunduke Journal subscribers for allowing me to actually report on all of this because it's important to report on it. Go to lunduke.com and click on links. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across this vast and glorious inner tube of ours, I do declare, end broadcast.